What's going on, guys? This is Mike with Chit Chat Gaming. As you all know, last week at CES, Retro-bit unveiled some of their brand new, their Wave 1 anyways, brand new Sega Genesis, Sega Dreamcast, Sega Saturn line. So again, they went ahead and they actually announced, they unveiled some new controllers that's coming out for all three of those systems, with more on the horizon. So of course, with that being said, that actually leaves everybody to wonder, so what is Retro-bit going to do next? Or what do we want from Retro-bit? So for me here today, I just want to let you guys know what I want. Not what I'm expecting, but what I want from this whole Retro-bit Sega collaboration. So for me personally, being selfish, Sega Saturn, like I mentioned several times, is my second favorite console of all time. I love the Saturn. I would love to see a mini, like a Sega Saturn, just like a mini, like a Retro-bit Generations type console that has Sega Saturn, Sega Dreamcast games on it, or just Saturn in general. I wouldn't mind seeing a Dreamcast one as well too. We have the At Games Genesis, mini and stuff. We have a couple different ones of those. We also have the handheld version. They are what they are. I'd love to see an actual Sega licensed one. I think that'd be even 100 times better. But for me, selfishly though, I have not seen anything of the Saturn or anything of the actual, Dreamcast. Those are the two biggest hitters that I can think of that I'd love to see. Yes, it's nice having some wireless controllers and stuff for those consoles, but if you don't have the console and you can't get one because they're so dang expensive right now, then what's the use, I guess? But they are still awesome, and those Saturn controllers look amazing. But that's, for me personally, that's what I would love to see. And maybe some re-releases. I mean, obviously they're re-releasing Holy Diver, as well as R-Type, the Super R-Type and stuff returns. So, and they brought back other ones as well too, some multi-carts. So I wouldn't mind seeing a multi-cart for the Sega Genesis and some Sega titles. I wouldn't mind seeing like a re-release of like maybe like Crazy Taxi or some Sonic games, of course, Streets of Rage. Some games like that. One big one I would love to have is Die Hard Arcade for the Saturn. I'd love to see a release of that. That game is freaking awesome. But basically any Sega games, because it's going to be very hard for them to do that with a third party. But it can be done, but more along the lines of Sega. And of course Capcom and stuff too, because obviously Retro-bit's working with Capcom. So maybe Capcom and Sega can come together and they can release like some Street Fighter games or something as well too for the Sega and for the Saturn and for the Dreamcast and such. So that is what I'd like to see, and this is coming from a Nintendo fanboy. I've never really gotten into the Genesis and stuff as much, but I love me some Sega Saturn and some Dreamcast. But I do know a few people who are even bigger Sega fans than I am, obviously, since I'm a Nintendo fan at heart. I love Sega a little bit, but for me, I know a couple people. One of them couldn't be here, of course, and he is Kyle from the Party Chat Society, so shout out to him because he is a huge Sega Genesis fan, or a Sega fan in general. But my boy Kentman over at Sega Collecting is going to let you guys know what he is expecting or what he wants, selfishly, out of this collaboration of Retro-bit and Sega. So Kentman, take it over.
Thanks, Mike. What's up, Sega lovers and Chitty Chat Game family? It's your boy Kentman from Sega Collecting, and what I'm expecting from the Retro-bit Sega partnership is a new Sega console of some sort, of a mini. I'm assuming what I would love most is Sega Dreamcast, because that system is my favorite system, and no one is more hyped than me to be excited for a Sega system. And what games that would go along with that would be Sonic Adventures 1 and 2, Jet Set Radio, Shenmue, Power Stone, Let's Get Ready to Rumble, and of course Skies of Arcadia, Space Channel 5, and you can't forget about Samba Domingo, Choo Choo Rock. There's so many games to choose from. They have to be a variety of the Sonic Team games, a variety of third parties that was really great, like Let's Get Ready to Rumble, Power Stone 2. Those are games that has to be on this system because that would be great. And why I'm more favorite to the Dreamcast is because we've already had the Mega Drive Flashback and a couple other Sega Genesis consoles, like from At Games and all those other things, but we never had a Sega Dreamcast Mini or a Sega Saturn Mini. So I would love to actually play those more than the Sega Genesis, because we had those chances. But either one I would take, because I accept everything from Sega. So those are pretty much what I'm looking for a console. Back to you, Mike. Thank you for having me on your channel.
Awesome, man. It's great to hear your thoughts on this whole thing. You are a huge Sega fan, obviously, a huge Sonic fan, so anything that you say you want, you should get. But with that being said, guys, from Kentman, from Mike here with Chit Chat Gaming, as always, happy gaming.